Hey guys, I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Whether you're watching this in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening, I'm glad you guys are here. I wanted to thank all the channel members. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all more than you know. And thank any of you who've made your way in here to find my knife and EDC content. I appreciate you all, and I'm glad you're here. If you're so inclined and you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon, it will really help me out. So today I wanted to go through my collection and come up with the 10 really action driven EDC bangers that I hate these. If I had to grab 10 knives, what would I grab type stuff. But let's just say if I had to grab 10 out of my collection, I think that these may be the most banger knives in my collection. So starting with number 10, and this is all judged on what I consider to be a cross between action, pleasure to carry, and cutting ability for my EDC tasks. So number 10 is the Renegade Provisions God of Mischief. This knife should really be carried a lot more than it is. I'm blessed to carry a lot of different knives, but this particular knife is an absolute banger. The only negative I've heard ever talked about it, and I don't see it as a negative, but if you look at the blade hole there, you'll see a lot of powder in that, which is from where it grabs my fingernail and it actually takes my human DNA and catches it in there. But again, you don't ever have to use, you can see it dandruffing out, but you don't ever have to use that flicker because it's got such a nice front flipper. You've got amazing ergonomics. You've got this really nice blade that's just super functional in shape, in size. I want to say it is M390, but I can't be sure. It's a premium steel. But this is the God of Mischief, or the GOM as people call it, by the Renegade Provisions, and we'll give this one a number 10 slot. So moving on, we come to number 9 slot. Number 9 slot is a super cool knife that I missed out on initially, but I was able to grab from a brother in the community who hooked me up with one and let me buy it. And this is the Knoll Knives Voodoo. Guys, I was not initially going to get one of these, and then my buddy A to Z EDC, my local buddy, picked one up, let me review it. I instantly realized how bad I had missed, because when we talk about action, when we talk about a wonderful hollow ground Wharncliffe blade, when we talk about ergos, the Knoll Knives Voodoo has to be in the race. So this guy is an absolute beauty. This one's in carbon fiber. It's in titanium. It is a, if I'm not mistaken, M390 blade. Yep, M390 blade, Knoll Knives Voodoo. We're going to call it number 9, which brings us to number 8. Number 8 is a gorgeous knife. Has delicious action, has some of the most beautiful tumbled bolsters I've seen, and some of the most unique cross-cut carbon fiber I've seen. Gorgeous back spacer that really cups the blade so you can see how perfectly centered it is, because you've got that little groove there in the back spacer. It just absolutely flies out. It is also a front flipper. As you guys know, I'm not the preferred front flipper guy. And when these got retuned by Riot, they got tuned to be a little bit more snappy and not as easy to front flip. I can still front flip it, but the good news is the center flip, middle finger flip, is dialed in to be cash money from anywhere. This is S90V. It's a very tall flat ground, beautiful brush blade. Cuts like a dream, feels like an absolute glove in my hand. And coming in at number 8, we've got the Liang Ma Field Duty Folder. Moving on to number 7, we have got the Brian Brown Jaeger M. The Jaeger M is my year before last or last year version. This is a beautiful hollow ground knife by Brian Brown. This is an EDC supply or EDC Specialties version, and then I was able to acquire the black hardware and the Zirku or the Zircudi. I don't know what this stuff's called. Why am I drawing a blank? And Zerk. Yeah, the Zerk backspacer and the Zerk clip. Treated PVD blade, manufactured by Riot. Inset micarta into the titanium handles. I did the flipper delete version, which was the version that did not have the flipper. That's the one I wanted. Keeps the flipper from getting in my hand. And as you guys know, I'm a middle finger flicker guy. So absolutely love this knife. We're going to give it the number 6 position. I think we said 10, 9, 8. Number 7 is the Jaeger M, which brings us to number 6. And number 6 is a knife that I put skiffs in not too long ago. And it's a knife that I carry at least once a week. It is the DLT, if I'm not mistaken, version of the Medford Slim Midi or Slim Midi Marauder in S90V. This little knife is thin. It is made in America. It's beautifully crafted, regardless of what we think about the people. You can look at the knife, or at least I can objectively, and just know it's a wonderful knife. Locked up, absolutely solid as a bank vault. Drops shut, pops open with just the littlest finger flick. Just everything I did not think a Medford knife was. I've got a couple of bigger Medfords. They're small for a lot of you guys, but I've got the Midi Marauder and I've got the Infraction. And this little guy feels dainty by comparison. And I'm just an absolute fan of this knife. I love the Medford Slim Midi, and it is coming in at number 76, what did we say, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, which brings us to number 5. This could be higher on the list, guys, and any of these next knives could be much higher on the list, and really all these knives could be top of the list, but I had to put together a list, so it's really 10 that I would grab, not necessarily which ones I'd grab first, right? I just have to give them a number. This is my McNeese Knives Mac 2 3.5 inch in MagnaCut. It has got a shockwave pattern with an atomic finish, which is just kind of a very nice rustic finish. Beautiful, beautiful hollow grind that is so sharp, that has some of the cleanest action of any knife in my collection. Just simply effortless to get to deploy. Locks up like a tank. Beautifully done in my home state here of Alabama. And this is the McNeese Mac 2 3.5 inch knife, or 3.5 inch blade, and I'm a huge fan. Which brings us to number 4. Guys, we talked about this as being the knife of the year. Absolutely, in my opinion, was. When I look at it as, you know, a new offering, this thing just blew me away. When I look at it as I'm grabbing 10 knives, can I leave this one behind? No. I'm in danger of, if I find the DLC version in stock, of buying that one and then probably either keeping this one too or trying to sell this one. This knife has put a hex on me in terms of, I love what it stands for. I love the things that are small, as the way I can lock my pinky right here when I flick it, just by the way my finger naturally goes. It feels like it was designed for my hand. It deploys like, a catapult. It catapults open, manual knife, drops shut, front flipper that's done exceptionally well with that angle, a flipper with the combination of my little, what I call the pinky lock, that is cash money. Guys, that's the Kungwu Padre. We're going to give it the number 4 spot, which brings us to number 3. And again, guys, any of these knives could be higher, lower. They're just the 10 I would grab, right? And this is my Lamia Friday the 13th edition. Distressed Black, SPK Knives, Brother Alex Steingraber. Crafting probably one of the most fine knives, or the finest knife in my collection. American made by an American dude who does a very good job. Polarizing figure, I get it. I can see the detail he puts into the work and his effort that he puts into his work. And I also think the guy's an artist who uses steel as his medium. So when I look at the personality of someone who's passionate about what they do, who's done something that to me borders on the realm of perfection from a design that I can appreciate, I can understand that there may be some mixed reviews from people who've had experiences with them. Only ones I've had with them have been very positive, and it's just been me commenting on his posts, him commenting on my posts. I love the knife. It is an absolute beauty. It is, again, the SPK Lamia. This particular version is in crew wear, which I really like. And yeah, don't know what else to say about that, but that brings us to number 2. That was recently knocked out of the number 1 spot. Guys, this is the Liang Ma Field Duty EDC. The first little Field Duty I got, the smaller guy, in G10 unibody with a frame lock, flipper deployment, Elmax steel. One of my all-time favorites. A knife that I just gush over because it's so freaking good. A knife that I will never let go. It will always be in my collection. The reason I fell in love with Liang's designs, this little knife right here. I've also got a cuff, and I've got the Field Duty folder that we saw earlier. But the Field Duty EDC is a knife that I love to carry on the daily. Carries like a dream, cuts like a champ, deploys like just a wicked catapult. Brings us to number 1, guys. This knife would not be in my collection if it was not for Brother Carco making it available to me when I was looking for one. This is a knife I thought I always wanted. I hung out with it at Blade Show in 2022. I decided I wasn't that much of a fan of it. It was too big. Then I borrowed my buddy A to Z EDC, who let me do a review on his with his Arius. So I had a couple of really nice knives that I kept for about 10 days. By the end of that 10 days, the weirdest thing had happened. I had decided that I could get by without a Koenig Arius, but some way, somehow, I was going to have to find an Evo. And it didn't happen right away. But I did find this knife. I was looking for an Evo. Brother Carco reached out. This knife is not only a Grail knife that I'd just been dying for. It's also got scales that were handcrafted and modded by Brother Bill Pro-X. I want to say 1840, Pro-X 1840, but that's probably wrong. But that's my brother, Bill Pro-X. Used to always see him in the chat, and he's doing some off-the-chain mods right now. And he created these carbon fiber scales for Brother Carco, which were luckily attached to the knife when it came to me. And this is the M390 version, DLC coated blade. I just did therapeutic cutting. I apologize, guys, but once you start, you just can't stop. So yeah, guys, these are, if I had to grab 10 and I was blessed with the time to grab 10, these are probably those 10. So these are, every one of these is a banger. Every one of these could be the only knife in my collection, and I would be more than fortunate and lucky. So yeah, let's just make sure I get them all out here. Make sure you guys can see them. And I'm sure I'm going to leave one out. Let's see, we got a GOM. GOM, you go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Guys, those are my top 10 in terms of just overall the bangerest of the bangers is what we'll call them. But I appreciate each and every one of y'all taking the time to check out my video. Hope you found it informative, educational, entertaining, maybe made you smile, maybe pissed you off. I don't know, leave a comment, tell me what you think. I'll try to get to it and read back. That's my worst thing that I've fallen short on this year is I've got to get better at my comments. But I appreciate y'all's understanding and patience. I love each and every one of you. All I ask is please look out for that guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Please look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I love y'all. Peace.